name is Rosa Harvan, and I'm going to demonstrate a slip cover cutting today for a Parson's chair.
I have a question though, since I know you're doing slip cover. How do you, or what do you use if you want to add more foam or padding or whatever? Do you glue it? How do you adhere it?
On the chair?
Mm-hmm.
The chair is slip cover, so you don't do any of that. If you want to get rid of the button hook, then what you would do is the tafting in here, you can either remove the button or fill it in with maybe padding so that you have a smooth surface. Or you can do the slip cover and add an interlining to the body, like you make it like a drapery with interlining, and then that will give a nice feel to it too.
I have seen just plain wooden back chairs, tufted though, not tufted but padded.
Well, you can use an adhesive spray glue.
Okay.
That you can put on the wood. If you don't care about losing the chair, you know, the finish.
Right.
You can just spray that on, and then you put your batting over and let it sit and it'll set.
How much batting would you use?
Well,
thickness?
It depends on if you want a heavy look, tufting, or a thin look. They have different sizes. 8 ounces, 10 ounces batting, 2 ounce batting.
Or could you use foam maybe?
I don't usually would do foam,
Okay.
no. I will use foam maybe for outside cushion or cushions for the chairs.
Yeah, for the seat.
For the seat,
Yeah.
and then I will wrap the batting around that for extra
Right.
fullness, and you
Take out
won't
the
give you a sharp corner.
Right.
Like, you know,
right.
if you have a cushion on this chair, and you put a cushion, just the plain fabric on it, if the fabric is like a cotton, it will give a sharp look. So you want to soften that, then we'll stitch or glue on it. I always glue and then stitch it. I never leave it unopened, because when you try to put the cushion on, sometimes you pull it back and forth over the years. So I always stitch the sides all around it with the batting over the foam. And it's nice and round and soft.
So, if you just did adding it to the back, if you just wanted it plain like that, I don't understand 8-inch batting.
No, ounces. They call them by the ounce.
Ounce.
Yeah, they're thick or heavy. Do you have any in the store?
I don't have any batting. But
Okay.
I think it's it's
You can go to
fiber
Julian
fill.
and
Yeah.
you see.
Yeah.
Julian will sell some. They have different, you can feel it.
Right.
Some is really, really thin. We do cornice boxes with those too. And we use not too heavy. So just enough to give a nice soft look to it. But if you want a big tufting effect, like an ottoman, then you go big. You go
I see.
big.
Okay.
So the buttons will kind of sink in.
Right.
What do you use for those to get the buttons to go?
They have long needles, believe it or not, this big.
Really? Where you get those?
Maybe Julian will have some in the clothing department. You have to go on the internet. You can find something of the sort. But they have long needles like
I've
that.
seen them, yes.
Yeah. And you just go through it. If you have to go through the back where the wood is, you pre-drill. And then with a needle you go through and push it down, and then you pull it to the
Pull it
back
back and tie it.
before you put the fabric and then
Right.
on both sides. If you want buttons on both sides, you can do the same thing. Pull on each side one and really pull it tight. Do the double, double knot, yeah. That means stay. And then do it again by pulling it. Okay, I'm gonna get started.
Yeah.
Okay, what I usually do, I make a picture, I draw a picture, but this time I took a photo, and then I copied it. And I'm gonna start from the front. And what I usually do, I measure before I even cut. So I will take my tape measure, and I wanna do this section here. So I'm gonna put the tape measure from the very back here, where everything is where the piping is, if there's a piping or curve.
Where the seam would be.
So I'm gonna go from here to there, and I measure 32 inches, And the side here is longer, so I kind of try to do the same thing. You have to end before the skirt, which is going to be right here. So it's 36 inches. And then I'll add for my seams. And I'll add at least 2 inches, top and bottom. If I didn't have that, I would stop here. Then I would just do 32 inches plus a tack. You have to have a tack in a slip cover so that when you sit on it, you will pull on it and rip it, because it's not setting in the, like a posture chair, it's just loose. So I will stick it in here after, and it stay in place. And if you try to sit on and pull on it, it will rip, it'll come out. So that is why.
How many inches do you
For
usually
something
get?
like that, we use maybe 3 inch.
Okay.
4 inch, 3 to 4 inches. For a big chair or a couch, I would go 5 inches at least. But usually, there's a nice feel here that is tight. If it's not tight, I will use foam after the slip cover is done and stick it in the back, or I will use a fabric tube and I will put that in the back so it will stay. But usually they're pretty tight. See, this is pretty tight. You can feel it by doing that. So now I have my measurements, and then I'll measure, that's my length. So I will cut about 38. Then I'll measure again from here, the biggest size, to here. And now, same thing, now I don't have a tack, I just add 2 inches total. So we'll get about 27. And then what I'll do is I'll cut it. I already marked it, and I always start from the center. I fold it in half. This is called blocked fabric. Instead of using the whole row, I'm blocking it so that it's easy for me to just measure and cut it. And I know where my centers are. And this is the top of the fabric. I always mark it.
Okay.
So in each section, so I have the same look everywhere. So I'll cut it right there. And I will mark the center of my chair too, from the back. Right here. And I'll put a pin on it so that I know my fabric has to be right there. The center of my fabric to have it straight. And I'll do the same with the bottom, which already has a design. And then what I'll do, I know this is my center of the fabric, and I work inside out with my fabric. See, this is the right side of the fabric. So I will go right on it like that, to the way back where the center is. See, I have a notch. And I will use T-pins. I use T-pins to hold the fabric in place so it's straight.
Well, if they don't hold the center, that's gonna lie.
See, and I put pins to hold it in place so that I can sneak in my piping now. And I leave about 1.5 inches or maybe 1 inch to 1.5 inches from the center that I have my pin on right there.
We did.
And this is the wrong side.
That's the wrong side of the fabric. And I go to the front like that. See, I'm really creating a tack, and I'm holding in place, make sure it's straight.
I want to see your tuck.
Right here. See, since I cut it longer in here, it's creating I already a tack. So now I'm gonna make sure this is my center too. So I'm gonna mark my center.
See, I wasn't sure what she meant about tuck.
It's extra
It's
fabric.
the whole, yes.
See, and I have my center,
Mm-hmm.
which is right here. Sometimes the fabric is folded in half. You don't have to mark it. You'll have the seam. See over here? So I just put a pin there, and then I'm going to hold it to the sides. And I usually fit them pretty well. I don't make them loose. They look
Right,
really nice.
yes, yes.
So now that I have it pinned, so that it's forming the shape of the chair. See, the chair tells you what to do. If if you follow the chair lines. Then I'll take a crayon or a chalk and I mark what I need to cut. And since I'm working from the wrong side, I don't have to worry about marking it.
Right.
So I see the piping is giving me a line already.
Uh-huh.
See that?
Right.
And same thing here. I'm gonna release it because I need to make my curve here. I'm gonna release it from this side because I need to make this line. And then I'm gonna cut off the part.
And you're allowing,
At least an inch and a half.
okay.
You can put Velcro, or you can put zipper, or sometimes it just slips in.
Mm-hmm.
And then same thing here. See, now I have my shape. And I'm gonna go cut around that. And I'm gonna notch it so it gives.
I see.
See that I'm already forming
Yeah,
the
that
look of my
notch
chair.
is a good thing.
And then I'm gonna do the other side. And you work in sections. I'm gonna have to release it here again so that I can work on the other side and do the cell. Because if you don't go really close with it, sometimes it's too tight. It won't look good on the chair. It's not relaxed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now I'm gonna do the same thing here. You have to work with the fabrics down like that. And you have to be careful when you cut it too, that you don't cut too small.
Right.
See, I already have my design.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to cut slowly, make sure that I don't cut too much.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll notch it, cut it. And I'm going to cut this part off like that. If you want an exact pattern, then I will take it off, fold it in half, and do the same thing on the other side. But I don't usually do that because it's pretty accurate. The chair is pretty good usually.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll cut it off. See, here is still giving me a little bunchiness, so I'm going to release that. Then when I do that, now I'm going to work on my back. And over here, I'm still going to mark it with my crayon.
Mm-hmm.
And this part here, this needs to be folded.
I see.
Because you have a round
Round.
corner. So what I'm going to do, you can either shirl it, or I like to do little pleats.
Mm-hmm. It's a little cleaner.
Yeah, it comes nice and clean.
And you pleat
Like
from
that.
the back to the front.
And yeah. You pin it, then you mark it too, like you did before, and you cut it. That's actually the hardest part of the chair.
Mm-hmm.
So you cut it enough so that you can pin it.
Need a saw.
Now you do the other side. And usually you count how many pleats you got on this side, you recreate the same thing on the other side.
I see.
If you want to use the same pleats from here, then you can fill them. You can put the fabric inside.
Mm-hmm.
See, like that?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't do that. I like to create my own.
Mm-hmm.
But first I need to cut. See, I'm going to relax it. Still too tight. I don't like that. Okay, now
I
it's good.
see.
See, I'm going to cut all that off. I'm going to stop right there because I want to create my little plate so you can pin it. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. I think I might have 5 there. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. The chair usually pretty good, tells you what to do. You can make them a little bit bigger. A little bit more. Then you can mark it again so you know what that is. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put piping in it. You can make your own with the same fabric, but I'm going to use a decorative piping now because it looks pretty with the Parson's chair. So I'm going to try to slip it through. So I put my back to that. So I'm going to start from here and leave it a little bit longer and work it. The straight side goes towards the back with the straight of the fabric on the inside.
Gosh, how do you keep it straight from working from the,
Because you already have a line.
you're doing it on
Chalk.
that line, on your chalk
You
line?
can do a little loose if you wanna, but I go with the head of the piping against the line.
I see.
Are there just certain types of fabric that you really recommend for slip covering?
I like the soft fabrics for slip covers.
Okay.
Because they give you a nice fit. Some of the harsh fabrics, they look a little bit too stiff.
Yeah, so
So the
anything that,
softer the better.
okay, we get that question a lot.
If you don't have an industrial machine like I do, then I would recommend to use lightweight fabric. I use the anything because I have industrial machines and I can work even with velvets.
Yeah.
And I've done corduroy,
Right.
corduroy slip covers too. But if you don't have the machine, I don't think it's gonna work for
You
you.
have to be
So
careful,
it's
yeah.
best that you use lightweight. Like this, it's like a polyester, this fabric. And then you feel, see, you can feel here the part, and that's where I want it to go.
I see.
Yeah, it's just in brown and.
See, I feel up here, and I put my fabric right against that. So even if I have a lot here, it doesn't matter.
I need brown. Who makes it?
Then I'll do along this side.
Like $45 a yard for it. It's just a front. We have all different flavors. And I do is just buy a few yards of it, trim under curtains and shades to match, and then I could come over here and get a cream color fabric to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just try to.
So you have the right side against the chair.
I do.
The
Yeah.
other thing, do you know, I need some flat trim.
I put the whole thing together before I stitch it. I don't work sections. You can do sections at a time if it's better, easier for you, but I do the whole thing. And then I stitch it. And I have to make sure that my pins stay in place. Because if they don't, then I'm gonna I'm not a good fit. And that's the most important part of the slip cover right now. Gonna cut the tape. There it is. And I'm going to cut the back of the chair. And I'm going to put this from the inside. It's going to create the look that you want it when it's finished. So I think I have it. Same thing. You measure the sides, the length, which is the front. This is the back of the chair. I have measured from the top of the chair, the bottom. But since we want to do the skirt here, I have deducted 2 inches.
I see.
If you want a skirt starting from here, then you cut exactly like this, plus 2 inches. If not, you go shorter like 2 inches, because this is going to be the whole skirt all around. Otherwise, it's not going to look even, because we're going to put piping along the chair seat too. So this
Just
is
above
my
the skirt. Okay.
This is the top deck, so I'm gonna put that in now. Again, I'm gonna cut the whole fabric because I wanna match the design and I have to start from the same center. If you start from the center, you're gonna have matching all the time. So same thing, you're gonna start, this is the top of my fabric, and I'm gonna go here where the center is. And I'm gonna start right. Have you ever seen this before?
No, I haven't. No, I would love to.
And then I'm
try to
gonna
make a
hold it to the
slip
side so it stays
That's
once.
terrible.
Yeah.
Hold in place, and I'm gonna work with this. I might have to readjust the pins.
I did the wrong side there. Let's stop and slip. I could never do that. It's too bulky from the
So now you're going through the two fabrics and the trim.
Yeah, I'm gonna incorporate the trim in here so that it'll stay in place. Slip cover is a soft look, more so than an upholstery chair is really stiffer. So you got the softness when you do that.
I think I would have to stop and do sections. It
I
would be a
would.
lot for me, I'm sure, you know.
Yeah. Well, see, it takes a long time to master it, so I do it that way because I don't wanna, I know, exactly what's gonna happen, so I trust myself to put it to the machine without.
I would have to do little by little.
Mine's always a mystery.
Some slip covers, some people do the slip covers right side out, and then
Oh.
do sections.
Wow.
I like to do it all. Even a sofa, I do the whole thing.
Wow.
The only thing I don't do when I do a sofa is the skirt, because I already have my body, and I
Right.
can just
Attach the skirt. at
attach
that
it. When
point.
I get home, I have already the measurements.
Yeah.
Okay, see, this is an excess here, so I'm gonna mark and get rid of it. See how the pipe will guide you. I'm gonna mark the bottom, but I know I have to do that 2 inches for the skirt. So I'm gonna cut that.
So now when you're doing a sofa, you're not able to take that home with you. So do you make a pattern
I go to the people homes.
and you do this there? You
It
do?
takes about 3 hours for a
Okay,
sofa,
wow.
2 to 3 hours, depends on what kind.
Okay.
Sometimes the sofa is leather, so you really get no pin on it. You have to be very careful. So
Right.
you have to